to kill Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We don't attack Putin.
Being president of a country has many benefits: luxury, connections, power, and most importantly, premium security. World leaders are some of the most heavily protected people in the world, and on top of that, some of them control extremely powerful armies. However, as far as the Russian president is concerned, all of that is still not enough. Vladimir Putin, cautious as ever, is willing to go to extreme lengths to guarantee his safety, and spending $2.7 billion on his weapons is just one of them. Here's a look at how Vladimir Putin spends billions of dollars on his personal security. Paranoid or cautious? When it comes to his security, Vladimir Putin has had more reasons to worry than not to, especially since the onset of the war with Ukraine. Even before the war, Putin hasn't been particularly liked within his country or internationally, and there have been several attempts to overthrow him, although none has been successful. In addition, the Russian president has been the target of 7 assassination attempts, some of which he narrowly escaped. Now, the situation is dire, especially since U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham casually mentioned that someone in Russia should take him out for ordering the deadly invasion of Ukraine. The Russian president literally has an unofficial bounty on his head, and for someone who's as wanted as he is, it is not unusual that Putin is extremely cautious when it comes to his security. Vladimir Putin is obsessed with ensuring that he is always safe, and he is known to go to any lengths to protect himself from assassins, a coup, or even COVID-19. Some of his workers have described him as a paranoid man who never lets his guard down, not even when he's meeting with his advisors or other cabinet members. Well, paranoid or not, Putin's extreme caution is probably the only reason he's still the Russian president today. Putin's security is centered around various weapons, human resources, high-end communications technology, and a couple of other tricks, which we'll discuss extensively in a moment. He has several offices within Russia, all of which look alike, so nobody really knows for sure where he is. He stays at least 50 feet away from any crowd, and even then, he is surrounded by heavily armed guards. These are just a few security measures the president takes, and in total, Putin spends about $2.7 billion to ensure his safety. Although his methods are expensive, they seem to work just fine. The president's private army. For someone like Putin, who is one of the most wanted people on the planet, having a private army is not a luxury, but a necessity. He has his own personal army, also known as the Federal Protective Service, or SSO, and being an ex-KGB agent himself, the FSO is made up of only the best agents that KGB has to offer. The FSO is run by the KGB, the most powerful secret organization in Russia, and is in charge of handling every security detail that has to do with Putin. Protecting the president is no easy task, but the FSO has continuously proven capable. Apart from Putin, the FSO is controlled by another psychopathic Russian leader, Viktor Zolotov, who is known for his extreme methods, and best believe all of his underlings follow suit when the situation demands it. So in a case of an attack on the president's life, the perpetrator would have to go through thousands of highly trained KGB agents, and quite frankly, their chances of survival are low when you think about it. Now that there is a war going on, FSO agents remain close to the president, while military personnel from other branches of the Russian military carry out the president's orders on the front lines. These special agents not only protect the president's life, but some of them are also stationed at all of Putin's houses and offices across the country, regardless of where the president is at any given time. The agents also handle Putin's dirty work, and there are thousands of them at his disposal. In terms of funding, the KGB is in charge of allotting budgets, and over $2.7 billion from the national budget is assigned to the SSO. The average Russian taxpayer pays this money, and it is used to purchase weapons and fund missions that are assigned within the agency. Putin's personal bodyguards. In addition to a private army, Putin has his personal bodyguards, who call themselves the President's Musketeers. These so-called musketeers are a branch of the FSO and the only ones that you actually see. This unit has been responsible for being the presidential bodyguards since 1881, after the assassination of Tsar Alexander II, the president of Russia at the time, and the agents chosen for the task are typically between 19 and 35 years old. Unlike the rest of the FSO, the musketeers have a more direct relationship with the president and are more involved in his day-to-day movements, whether at the office, on the move, at a public event, or relaxing in any of his mansions. Putin is always in the company of his bodyguards. As expected, these bodyguards were handpicked by the KGB after undergoing rigorous training, even down to the alteration of their body function. For example, they are trained to withstand cold and not sweat, even when there is heat. They are also trained in operational psychology, and as expected, their physical stamina is off the charts. Furthermore, the bodyguards can detect threats by merely reading body movements and looking at a person's face. And in the event that they mark someone as a potential threat, their orders are to eliminate them on sight. These people are not to be messed with. The musketeers usually carry special briefcases with them, but don't be fooled. These briefcases are actually bulletproof shields used to protect Putin, and they also contain Russian-made 9mm SR-1 Vladmir pistols, loaded with powerful bullets that can pierce through thick armor. All these weapons are expensive, of course, and they are also covered by the $2.7 billion allotted to the FSO by the KGB. Putin's guards and snipers. Another branch of the FSO, sworn to protect the president, are secret guards and snipers. Unlike the bodyguards, who travel side by side with the president, these groups travel ahead of Putin to observe the environment and ensure that it is safe enough to accommodate him. They survey the area, looking out for potential threats, and take them out before the president arrives. But that's not all they do. When Putin arrives at a specific destination, the secret guards usually camouflage as crowd members. Just like the bodyguards, they are also trained psychologists who look out for threats by merely monitoring body movements, mimics, walks, and even posture. So if they detect someone in the crowd who is a potential threat to the president, these secret guards deal with them, buying enough time for the bodyguards to get the president away from the arena. In case the secret guards cannot handle the threat, they leave it to the snipers, who are set up in secret, strategic points at any location where Putin is. These snipers are not ordinary people, as they have undergone vigorous training to make extremely accurate shots, regardless of the distance. No wonder a paranoid man like Putin displays a palpable level of confidence when he's seen in public. He is rest assured that anyone who attempts to make a move on him already has at least a dozen red dots on their forehead. The president's transportation. Putin's mode of transportation is a reflection of his extremely cautious nature. The Russian president has a fleet of transport vehicles equipped with high-tech and security features. He has a collection of planes, helicopters, and ships. Ever since the war with Ukraine began, a new transport option has been added to the fleet. Since Russia invaded Ukraine, Putin has shunned all his extravagant air, sea, and even road transportation vehicles for a safer and less conspicuous option, an armored train. Unlike a plane that can be shot out of the sky or a car that can be easily attacked, this armored and bulletproof train is the most secure way Putin can travel. This train was built with insane technology, which doesn't come cheap. But if I were to take a wild guess, a train with these specifications and magnitude would cost at least a couple $100 million. When Putin has to travel much longer distances than his train can handle, He travels in any of his several Mi-8 helicopters. The Mi-8s are built in Russia, specially for the president, and they have bulletproof bodies and windows, advanced inbuilt communication systems, small square windows to reduce shot accuracy in case of an attack, infrared sensors, and weapons, among others. While commuting by road, Putin travels in the official Russian state car, the Urus Senat limousine. Like other vehicles at his disposal, the limousine was built with advanced security and communication features, such as bulletproof windows and armored bodies, to withstand bombs or sniper attacks. From all angles, apart from the security details, the interior design of the Senat limousine contributes to its heavy price tag. All these are just a few of Putin's many options when it comes to his transportation. Food tasters. The Russian president is rarely seen eating in public. When he travels, he goes around with his personal chefs, whom he handpicked himself. But when he has to eat meals cooked by non-members of his kitchen staff, Putin uses the countless food tasters at his service. Their job is pretty straightforward: examining and tasting food, water, and drinks prepared for the president before each meal is presented. Any meal the president takes in a foreign region, no matter how spontaneous it seems, best believe it is a pre-approved meal that his food tasters have thoroughly tested. This might seem over the top, but some leaders have died from food poisoning, and Putin is not about to be one of them. Look-alike stand-ins. When you see Vladimir Putin making a public appearance, there is a chance that you're looking at one of his replicas and not the president himself. Ever since the beginning of his administration, Putin has been accused of using lookalikes to stand in for him at public gatherings, and although Kremlin has claimed that this accusation is false, it's not hard to believe that the president has a trick like that up his sleeve. I mean, of all the crazy security measures Putin has put in place, using replicas won't be the craziest one. Several Russian spies have confirmed that the president does use perfect lookalikes from time to time. If you have enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you for watching.